Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another preview video, prediction video of the second week of the LEC. Uh, we instantly start off with the first game of Friday, Vitality vs Rogue. I think I also talked about that in my review video of the first week, that both teams looked pretty good. I was surprised by how both teams looked. Maybe not as much of Rogue because they played quite weak opponents. Excel, Schalke was expected that Rogue won. Misfits played quite poorly in their game against Rogue, so we're yet to see what Rogue really can do. But they looked good. Vitality, they lost quite convincingly to Fnatic. That is upside against G2, and they won against Schalke, who I said is one of the worst teams. So I'm not quite sure what to make of those two teams. I would still for sure say that Rogue should be the favorites, and I would say that Rogue should win this matchup. They look better, while I'm not really sure if Vitality really is as good as you might think if you look at the scorelines. Misfits versus SK next matchup. SK also surprisingly good, going up 2-0, also winning against Schalke and also against Origin. That was kind of an upset, but in that game as well, Origin played quite bad. And when SK played versus Mad Lions played that game quite good, and SK did really seem to have a lot of chances in this game. And I would expect kind of the similar here in this game, even though Misfits, they are 1-2 down overall. They played, because Fnatic they played good, then they played bad versus Rogue, they played good versus Origin, and I think that overall they showed that they're for sure capable of playing quite good, and I think that they will show that they can continue on that kind of performance that they showed against Fnatic, and that they showed also against Origin. Well, I feel like SK kind of just winning against Schalke and then having an upset doesn't really show that much promises as Misfits do. So I would for sure lean to Misfits, even though I think that SK, same with Vitality, I think they could win. It would be an upset, but not like a wouldn't totally blow my mind. G2 versus Schalke, even though G2 looked quite bad in the last two games of the regulars of the first week, I would still for sure say that G2 should be the favorites, and that they should bounce back after their very terrible week 1 performance. Schalke, they looked quite bad in all of the 3 games. They lost all of them, and I don't see it how they should change it up against G2. Maybe later on, but for sure not versus G2. I think G2 will show that they are one of the best teams in the LEC, and they want to prove that they are still very good, and not a team that is not as good as we all might thought. Origin vs Excel, kind of similar to the Origin story, to the G2 story. Origin looked bad, looked good in week 1. I think they showed some promises, they showed some weaknesses, but I would say that they will also bounce back. They also went down 1-2, very unexpected in my eyes. To be honest, not that unexpected, as they had quite a tough schedule, played with G2 and versus Misfits. Not quite. Wasn't quite sure if Misfits would win or if Origin would win, so it wasn't too unexpected that they went down 1-2. But they also, same as G2 and Misfits, want to show that they are for sure capable of going to Worlds and competing for the possible second, third, or fourth World spot. Maybe also first. Not quite sure. But yeah, Origin showed promises. While Excel, same with Schalke, both didn't show anything at all. Both looked very bad. And I just think that Excel will for sure lose this game as well. Fnatic vs Mad Lions is an interesting one. I was first of all thinking about possible upset here. Fnatic going up 4-0 or 5-0 after this week possibly. I couldn't really believe it. I thought maybe Mad Lions would be the one that would make like a upset, because I feel like normally like one upset per match day. In overall 2 to 3 upsets for 1 week would be quite okay to guess that, but I wasn't quite sure. Fnatic looked pretty good. They looked good versus Vitality. They didn't look as good maybe against Misfits. They look quite okay versus Excel as well. I think they will improve. I could see for sure that Mad Lions wins this. I thought about predicting Mad Lions winning it, but yeah, I think that Fnatic should be the favorites here. Coming on to the next day, Saturday, SK vs Excel first game. I think same as I said with Origin. I don't see really Excel winning this matchup. Maybe they could upset for sure, you could say that, but the XL looked really bad. SK showed what they are capable of versus a team that kind of has similar power level as XL when they played against Schalke, and I think that they will continue playing at least quite good, decent, and I would say it should be an upset if XL would win that, and SK should be the favorites. Misfits versus Schalke. Basically the same as I already said. Don't see Schalke winning against one of the top teams that Misfits is currently, at least in my eyes. I think it will be a 2-0 week for Misfits. Maybe Misfits loses against SK. I could see that happening, but I don't think that Schalke will win this matchup. Misfits should win this game for sure. Otherwise, it would be a huge upset in my eyes. Vitality versus Mad Lions. Another game where I thought it was quite close. I wasn't sure. I'm still not quite sure who is really gonna take the win here. I predicted Mad Lions to win. I just can't really think that Mad Lions goes down 2-0, but also on the other hand, Vitality going down 2-0, I can't really believe that. So it's kind of a difficult prediction to make, but I am leaning towards Mad Lions a little bit more, as I think that they overall showed more, especially if you take the spring performance as well. They showed well what they are capable of. They didn't really show it too much currently, but they are already up 2-1 in the standings at the moment, and I think that they will prove that they are better than Vitality and for sure deserve a playoff spot and possibly also a world spot. G2 versus Rogue was another matchup where I wasn't quite sure. Rogue looked pretty good, while G2 was kind of shaky. But I still think that G2 is a very good team, possibly the best team. Maybe they're kind of fighting against Fnatic, who now is better at the moment. I would lean a little bit more towards Fnatic in best of ones, but in best of fives, I would for sure say G2 is better, and G2 wants to show that as well. I think after their kind of terrible week 1 performance, as I already said, and I think that G2 should be the favorites, and I think that they will take the win against the Rogue. Last matchup, Fnatic versus Origin, another one where I wasn't quite sure who's going to take the win. I now decided to predict the Fnatic win, even though I seriously think that Origin could win this one as well. Origin played pretty good versus G2. Well, I mean, G2, yes, they played quite poorly, but still, Origin showed a lot of promises. Fnatic didn't perform like really good, but I think that they performed at least quite good. Kind of with the shakiness of Origin, I'm leaning currently towards Fnatic that overall showed more consistency, and I at the moment would say Fnatic should take the win here. I hope you enjoyed this prediction video of the second week of the LEC. If you did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.